I'm assuring you that you are dealing with pretty much a civilian organization, and be very free and comfortable partnering with us at the Kenya Space Agency. The agency is mandated to promote, to coordinate, and to regulate space-related activities in our country. What that means, and in terms of interpretation of what the key focus areas would be like, are fourfold. The first one is enhancing utilization of space technologies and use of space-derived data for data-driven decision-making across various socioeconomic activities, and principally in the public sector. The second area that we focus on is developing our national space capability. And the third area, which is what we are discussing in this forum, is how do we support the domestic private space sector to make it grow and to make it contribute meaningfully in terms of the space economy, contribute meaningfully to the national economy. And the last but not least is the area of awareness creation, which is tied to everything. Because if we do not have awareness, then the likelihood of uptake of space technologies in various public sector activities in decision-making might be wanting. So those are the areas that we focus on, and to be able to have these conversations around the utility and benefits of space technologies, we host these kind of forums. Now, our chief guest, the representative of the Principal Secretary, the Ministry of Defense, Mr. Isaac Masinde, who is the Secretary Administration at the MOD. Distinguished guests, CEOs of various organizations present, valuable partners, our guests from the region, including the organizers and finalists of the Africa Earth Observation Challenge and the Space Generation Advisory Council, representatives, I think it is coming back, representatives of the various government ministries, departments, and agencies, academia, private sector, dear stakeholders of the Kenya space ecosystem, and our colleagues from the region. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Yes, it's a great pleasure, now at least I don't have to shout, for me to stand before you and to just make very brief remarks on this particular event and how we got here. As some of you probably know, on an annual basis, we normally hold the Kenya Innovation Week around this time of the year. But this particular year, we are not having it. And in that Kenya Innovation Week, we normally have a small summit for space, a space summit. And it is during this space summit that we would normally, when we have an opportunity to host the Africa Earth Observation Challenge, that we would use that opportunity to do the final pitching. But because we are not having the Kenya Innovation Week, we thought that we must still have this conversation. One, because of our partnership, enduring partnership with RIS, that is Research Institute for Innovation and Sustainability, and also the work that we are doing with our stakeholders, particularly in supporting innovation and the startup ecosystem in our country. So we felt that it was important to still host an event to be able to continue that conversation. Now, as a Kenya Space Agency, we are proud to create this platform for networking and interactions on this conversation, which is basically targeted at the domestic space ecosystem. I think Victor has gone to great lengths to give the value proposition of what space technologies, space-derived data can do in terms of supporting socioeconomic development. And most of us are already players in that space anyway, so I'm not going to belabor that point. But our chief guest, please allow me to recognize in a special way our guests from outside our borders who have joined us for the twin event on the Africa Earth Observation Challenge and the Space Generation Advisory Council. May I kindly request that our guests stand so that we can recognize them and give them a warm round of applause. Please, our guests from outside Kenya. They cannot be only two. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Welcome. Please be seated. I also want to appreciate our co-hosts and organizers of this forum, which include our partners, VIFA Consult, ably represented by the one and only CEO, Mr. Otieno, and the Research Institute for Innovation and Sustainability. I could also kindly request these particular partners and their representatives to stand so that we can recognize them, please. Thank you very much. Please be seated. So, distinguished guests and our stakeholders, I take this opportunity on behalf of the board, the management and staff of the agency to welcome you to this first edition of the Kenya Space Innovation and Investment Forum 2025. Since the concept note was widely shared, and Mr. Otieno has also gone to great lengths to explain why we are here, I can just summarize it in two main reasons. One, to promote innovation and investment in the space ecosystem as critical drivers for Kenya's and Africa's budding startups and new space companies that will underwrite the region's space economy and contribute to economic transformation. And then secondly, of course, is to host the annual Africa Earth Observation Challenge final pitching, which I'm aware quite a bit of it has already taken place in the earlier sessions this morning and into the afternoon. Now, in line with our mandate, KSA is focused on creating an enabling environment for innovations and investments in the space sector as critical imperatives for the growth of the sector. And this is in line with our strategic plan. And having this kind of forum is one of the interventions that would foster the creation of that environment. We are also hosting this event as a curtain raiser to an event that we'll be hosting next year, which is the Global Data Festival 2026. And we'll be doing this in concert with our other partners from the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, and other partners. And we'll also be hosting our biennial event, which is the Kenya Space Expo and Conference. And we are doing this because space-derived data is an important element that complements the Earth data or data derived from other sources here on Earth. So we have space-derived data and data from Earth for data-driven decision-making. And we felt that what an opportunity to put these two communities together and deliver that global data festival early next year. So this is like a precursor event towards that as a way of building momentum. So we look forward to fruitful conversations and useful outcomes. I say that I'm going to keep my remarks short. It seems like I've gone beyond that, so I will just stop there. And now it is my honor to invite our chief guest, Mr. Isaac Masinde, who is the representative of the Principal Secretary, Ministry of Defense, to deliver his official opening remarks. Mr. Masinda, please.
Thank you, the CEO Kenya Space Agency, Brigadier Hilary Koskei, distinguished guests, the CEOs of various organizations present here, our valuable partners present, including our visitors from outside the country, our guests from the region, including organizers and an Earth Observation Challenge and the Space Generation Advisory Council, representatives of government ministries, departments and agencies, academia and the private sector. Dear ladies, dear stakeholders of the Kenya space ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Isaac Masinde, as you have been told. I'm the Secretary Administration Ministry of Defense, and I'm here on behalf of the Principal Secretary Ministry of Defense, Honorable Dr. Patrick Mariru, CPS, during this official opening ceremony of the Kenya Space Innovation and Investment Forum here at the Convention Center. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure at this first ever Kenya Space Innovation and Investment Forum 2025. I thank the host of this forum, the Kenya Space Agency and the River Consult, for this great initiative to spur and steer up conversation on innovation and investment, which are critical aspects and the key ingredients for growth and sustainability in our space sector, not just in Kenya, but also the wider African region. I want to begin by welcoming all our guests from outside our borders to Nairobi. Feel at home. I hope you will have an enjoyable day during the conference, and you will be able to spare time to sample the various hospitality offerings in our country, including our rich cultural heritage, visit to scenic areas, sites in a beautiful countryside, tourism attraction areas like Masai Mara, and also we wish you will also experience our authentic Kenyan cuisine, among other activities in the country. As the parent ministry where the Kenya Space Agency is domiciled in, the Ministry of Defense appreciates the value and the importance of the conversation that this forum is facilitating and encouraging. It is a conversation that seeks to take our space sector to the next level by seeking better ways and the means of supporting innovation and attracting investment to grow our space economy. It is an excellent opportunity to network and also learn from each other as stakeholders and industry players. Ladies and gentlemen, unlocking the full potential of our national space economies requires enhanced collaboration, knowledge exchange, data sharing, as we have been told, co-creation of solutions, and of course, supporting innovation and investment, the key goal of this forum. In this regard, we thank the leadership role of the Kenya Space Agency in convening thought leaders, policy makers, stakeholders, private sector players, academia, younger professionals, and innovators from Kenya and the region to this gathering. I hope over these 2 days of the forum, we will come up with a useful recommendation and takeaways that will inform and enrich our policy decisions, and that the participants will be able to build valuable and enduring relationships with other industry players. I'm aware that this forum is also a summit of 2 other important, distinct but connected regional events: the Africa Earth Observation Challenge and the Space Generation Advisory Council annual summit meeting as a nation. Kenya is proud to be associated with these 2 vernacular events that are curated to bring together younger professionals, investors, startups from the African continent to a joint forum on a shared grand vision to realize a vibrant African space economy. I take this opportunity to encourage our younger professionals and innovators to participate actively in this regional event and also benefit from the networking and the knowledge sharing dividends that they provide. I'm aware that in the past pitching events of the African Earth Observation Challenge, younger Kenyan startups and entrepreneurs have emerged among the best in the competition and have managed to secure innovation support in form of mentorship, training, and access to proprietary softwares and also data sets, and have gone on to become viable SMEs. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya is a emerging and developing space-faring nation. We seek to develop our national space capability and also space economy. We acknowledge the pivotal role that the space economy plays in driving national socio-economic development, technological and scientific advancement, creating a high-value jobs and enabling essential services and data-driven decision support for the economic transformation of our nations and the improvement of the well-being of society as a whole. Innovation is at the center of developing solutions, processes, and technologies, and also increasing capabilities and increasing capacities and capabilities that are essential for underwriting sustainable growth and development of any nation. We all appreciate that innovation increases value and drives growth. We also appreciate that satellite data, and particularly Earth observation, are invaluable in today's data-driven decision-making process in support of socio-economic development. They find direct application in addressing a number of pain points around agriculture and food security, natural resources management and environmental monitoring, disaster risk reduction, land and fiscal planning, rural economy, as well as defense and security, among many other sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, the African space economy is established, which is estimated to reach $22 billion by the year 2026, against a global space economy of over $630 billion. As Africans, there is great potential and a room for growth of our national space economies. And it begins with initiatives to support innovation and investment that will progressively raise our space economies to the level that is comparable with the rest of the world. Of course, this requires other investments in research and development, leveraging on international partnership, especially building as well as having the right educational curriculum that is fit for purpose, among others. There are issues we are addressing in our strategies. A central pillar of our national space program is the growth of a vibrant space innovation ecosystem. This is exposed in our draft Kenya Space Policy 2025, which identifies the following interventions as necessary for promoting innovations in the space ecosystem. This includes to ensure adequate funding for research and development, collaborate with universities and other research institutions to spur research, capacity building, including human capital development, facilitate public-private partnership in the space sector, and promote exploitation of frontier technologies in innovation around upstream and downstream applications. Leverage international cooperation and partnership in research, development, and innovation. I would like to assure the Kenyan stakeholders that the Ministry of Defense stands ready to work with all of you in actualizing these interventions in our space sector. And I'm happy to note that some definite steps are already being taken towards this end. You are all aware that on its part, the government of Kenya is embarking on a very ambitious and aggressive digital transformation program as a way of creating an enabling environment for innovation and investment, particularly in the technology space. This includes the development of the 100,000-kilometer digital superhighway, the focus on digital and the creative economy, the creation of digital hubs at the constituency level, as well as a number of interventions to support SMEs and the innovations and the startup economic system in general through initiatives led by the Kenya Innovation Agency and other national agencies. This evidence is there for us to see as Kenyans, as Kenya has now become the leading African destination for startup support funding for almost 3 years in a row now. In as far as the Kenya space ecosystem is concerned, we laud the efforts by Kenya Space Agency in cooperation with the international partners to host activities such as the African Earth Observation Challenge and other functions. The current effort to establish Earth Observation Innovation Data Labs in 2 of our public universities, as well as the process of establishing the African Business Innovation Lab. All these and many others will go a long way in fostering the space innovation ecosystem in Kenya. I urge our youth to take advantage of the opportunities that these facilities will provide towards supporting innovation. To the investors and the venture capitalists, I say Kenya is a hotbed of innovation. We have educated, highly skilled, and talented and successful youth, beaming with great innovation ideas. They span a broad section of specialists, including the space ecosystem. Use this opportunity to engage and network. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the unwavering support of our partners and the enthusiastic and responsive players in the Kenya space industry who have contributed eminently and worked with us along this journey. I look forward to productive engagement and useful feedback on how we can progress better and foster innovation and investment in the space sector. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my single honor to declare this Kenya Innovation and Investment Forum 2025 officially open. Thank you and God bless you. I don't want to add anything. That is the remarks by the Principal Secretary, Minister of Defense. We are here waiting for you to engage, be able to learn, so that we can be able to move forward as Kenya, as the region, as the world. Thank you so much.
All right. Asante sana, our chief guest. For the chief guest, I know you haven't reached far. If I may just request you, sir, please, representing a very big ministry, and PS, if you can just come up here. Let me invite our DJ, please. Also, let's have Victor consult. We want to capture this moment. That is 1 and 2. You guys also dress so nicely, yeah? So we don't want to waste this look, all right? So you have to put it in a picture. So you can just align right there. Let's have a photo moment for the 3 of you. Smile. These are spectacular gentlemen. All of them with spectacles. Looking amazing. Yeah? Amazing, amazing, beautiful. Once again, let us appreciate these wonderful people for the leadership that you are offering in this space. All right? Have you gotten nice photos? All right. Have you gotten one that one can crop the other out and use as their profile photo? That's good? Perfect. Asanteni sana. I'll allow you to sit. Tafadhali. All right. Thank you very much, sir. It's been a pleasure. All right. Once again, let us appreciate remarks from our chief guest. Even as we do so, Dave.
Yes.
Time is really moving.
Yeah.
Up next, I'd like us to take a look at the space of data, because when we talk about space, data is the oil that runs this environment. And one of the people that are very critical in pushing utilization of data, they say that better data, better decisions, better lives. These are global network actually using data to achieve their sustainable development goals. And we're going to hear from one of them this afternoon.
Definitely. She recognizes herself as a data champion. Back in 2014, she's one of the policymakers that pushed for Kenya to now move into more an informative decision-making country. And because of this, such an event where global partners are definitely present, you cannot miss to invite a global partnership representative such as her. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like for you to give a round of applause to Madame Karen Betts onto the stage.
Come on, let us appreciate Karen Betts from GPSDD. Better data.
I bet you she's going to knock you off your feet.
I love the usage of the word bet. The phrase is.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind invitation and recognition to have this opportunity to talk about the Global Data Festival and the Kenya Space Expo and Conference Center. My name is Karen Bett, as have been introduced. I lead our work on programs and policy at the Global Partnership for Sustainable Development Data. You can call them Data for SDGs or GPSD, but we are a network of over 700 organizations of government that champion the data revolution for measuring and achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. So Kenya, of course, is one of the members, founding members of the Global Partnership, and it's such an honor to be talking about the Global Data Festival and the Kenya Space Expo and Conference Center that's coming up next year. And as been mentioned before, this event we're having today and tomorrow is really setting and building the momentum for the event we have next year. So I'll read just a bit of my speech. And I think setting the stage is that we're having a global platform here in Kenya next year where we want to power how data, AI, and space technologies can drive a fairer, more resilient future. And Kenya is special for many reasons. First, of course, the human story began here, which is what builds what comes next. Kenya has been a global hub for innovation and has always been a place where tools shape humanity's future. From the earliest stone tools carved in the Turkana Basin to today's Silicon City and possibility. A nation with a thriving innovation as one of those global leaders in driving human-centered technologies and solutions. And from the 2nd to the 5th of June 2026, Nairobi, and especially this one, will become a global stage for shared missions in Kenya, as the government of Kenya hosts two complementary events side by side: the Global Data Festival and the Kenya Space Expo and Conference, which is KSIIF. The 2026 event is themed Powering Resilience, Innovation and Partnership Through Data and Technology. And the joint event is a shared stage, which we'll share with the Kenya Space Agency, where Kenya will lead a conversation on how space intelligence, data, technology, and innovation can shape a world that is fair, equitable, and resilient. In those two events, we'll bring together leaders, innovators, and communities equipped with new connections, ideas, practical tools, and plans for a shared vision. There's an opportunity to come and take from Kenya what we have to show the world, and also for Kenya to learn from the rest of the world. Why is having a joint event very important? First of all, of course, climate shocks, escalating disasters, infectious diseases, food insecurity, the list is endless. Those are becoming increasingly complex, and it cannot be solved by just one institution. And it requires execution that is at scale, with rules that protect both people and the systems, and ensure that those systems last for a lifetime. And what do we aim to achieve with this joint event? We are committed to equity, inclusion, and positive real-world impact and real solutions and use cases. The event will be able to transform both urgency into effective action and solution-oriented. We have 5 thematic areas or 5 objectives from the joint event next year. We want to drive investments into sustainable data and space systems. We want to advance inclusive data and data governance to promote equity, integrity, accountability. We want to make sure we're showcasing solutions, and some of these solutions we are seeing them in this conference today and tomorrow. We want to showcase solutions and innovations that demonstrate the practical application of space technologies, emerging technologies, as well as the role of citizens and citizen science in solving key pertinent issues. Importantly, also we want to foster partners. We want to make sure we're connecting governments, funders, grassroots leaders, the youth, technologists and innovators, and everyone. So have that connection across. Last and not least, we also want to make sure we're building skills and capacity through training, knowledge exchange, youth engagement, fostering the next generation of data and space intelligence professionals. So we're very excited to be talking about the Global Data Festival and the Kenya Conference next year today to build that momentum and to get us prepared for what comes next. And we invite you all to join us. We'll have about 1,500 participants representing close to 90 countries who will be convening here in Nairobi next year. I hope I will see you all there, and we're looking forward to having a fruitful engagement. With those remarks, thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Karen Bett. And I see up next we have representation from the Space Generation Advisory Council. I'd like to welcome on stage the one and only David Kasibante. Come on, let us appreciate David as he comes. David, whatever he is, there he is. Come on, let us appreciate him. He's coming from a distance. Luckily, we have stairs on that end too. You can just go up on the other side. David comes from the Space Generation Advisory Council, and is about to give short remarks before we proceed to another speaker. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for that very warm welcome. Very happy to be back in Nairobi for the second time in, I think, 2 weeks. I bring you greetings from your neighbors to the west, Uganda. And I'm very, very, very proud to be here. But I do not stand here in my capacity as a Ugandan, otherwise I would have a lot to say about our amazing neighbors here. But I stand to represent the space to stand before you today as we officially launch the Kenya Space Innovation and Investment Forum. It brings together the full spectrum of Africa's space community, from policymakers to investors to entrepreneurs and the next generation of space professionals. I think that I make a step on this stage today, and that is because we have this saying where I come from, that the young trees are the future of the forest. I don't know if we have something of that caliber where you come from, but that's what we say. So the young people, this generation,